It's time for another look at spiritual development and our spiritual lives. And when I last spoke about this, about 6 or 8 weeks ago, we finally established the core practice of movement, breathing, and meditation. And we looked quite extensively at the movement and the breathing, a little bit at the meditation of how to do that. Because, of course, meditation was hopefully something you'd already been doing because I spoke about that on the show before. And I said so. And that got a lot of you writing to me saying, can we see that again? Can you explain that again? Can we go through meditation again? Because now you're really ready. So what I'm going to do for you this week is rescreen that episode that showed about a year ago that is really a step-by-step guide of how to meditate. And that step-by-step guide, which also includes some breathing practices, is really all you need to complete your daily practice and make it into the bookends of your day. Our basic idea is that if you do the spiritual practices in the morning, movement, breathing, and meditation, and the journaling in the evening when you write about your day and maybe write about how it was after you had done that this morning, then you are really creating a space in your life for your spiritual life, and you'll also create a sense of knowing that you're working on it takes away a lot of the stress and the anxiety of, I should be doing something more significant with my life. You can take it further and you can add one or all of those practices to the later part of the day as well. And even if you think meditation sounds crazy before you go to sleep, despite the fact that itself it energizes you and you might feel more energized immediately after meditation, it will even help you sleep better. If there's nothing else you do for your spiritual life and your spiritual practice, do meditation. Just that one thing will make all the difference. Establishing a regular, hopefully daily or more than once a day practice of meditation will be the single most life-changing thing that I can teach you. So let's have a look at that, and in the weeks and months ahead we'll talk more about it. Get meditating. Why would we learn meditation? I mean, you might think I'm not on that spiritual path, I'm not in my particular spirituality or religion, meditation isn't practiced or anything like that. Meditation is a personal practice of taking charge of your spiritual, emotion, and even physical development. So I want to tell you just a few of the benefits of meditation, and these are ones that have all been studied scientifically. There are vast numbers of benefits, and in fact, if you read about the benefits of meditation, it begins to look like one of those 19th century snake oils, kind of cure for everything. And in the case of meditation, probably only in the case of meditation, most of those claims are actually true. But here are the claims that we have found to be true through scientific studies, just a few of them. Firstly, it almost goes without saying, it increases happiness and contentedness and improves the quality of sleep. It dramatically reduces stress, anxiety, and other things associated with them, such as panic attacks. It's one of the most simple and immediate treatments for depression and substantially alters mood on a permanent basis, and even appears to slow aging, according to studies by Harvard University. These are genetic studies that look at damage to DNA and how that is dramatically reduced in the case of meditators. And if that isn't enough in terms of the physical changes, Harvard have also shown that it increases the concentration of gray matter, literally increases the number of gray matter cells that you have in the brain. And this increases intelligence, memory, and learning, as well as the ability to focus, to pay attention, and to process information. It sounds too good to be true, but it's real. Add to that increases problem solving and increases creativity, and you get why it's such an important function for the brain. It also can help treat ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, especially in adults. And it reduces things like blood pressure, it reduces inflammation, it helps treat psoriasis of the skin, and it reduces the chance of having a stroke. It also improves immunity, it improves our management of pain, and even can help us change bad habits like smoking, drinking, and other addictions. The list goes on. Locally here in South Africa, many years ago, I met the author of a study I had on my radio show who went into a school where the failure rate in matrics was over 50%, and there was a lot of violence and bad social behavior at the school. Teaching the kids meditation increased the matric pass rate to 100% and dramatically reduced social problems at the school. Simple, everyday experience of it will show us all what those benefits actually are. The whole idea of meditation is often presented in a spiritual context. In various different spiritual traditions and religions and so on, we see the practice of meditation as a spiritual practice. And it's well known, often Westerners assume it's an Eastern practice. And while that is true and it's very strongly advocated in most Eastern traditions, it has of course been practiced in Western traditions consistently as well. One of the most important sources of the knowledge of the importance of meditation comes from the great classic of Hindu spiritual literature called the Bhagavad Gita. This is the book that Gandhi said that he studied every day and that was not attached to a particular religion, even though it's contained within the Hindu tradition. There's incredible information about the meaning of the soul and the journey of life. And even whether you believe it or not, one of the most interesting chapters in the book is on meditation itself. My favorite translation is the one by Eknath Iswaran, still in print, and he is a contemporary Indian American translator. And chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita deals with the practice of meditation. And I just want to read you a little bit from this translation that gives us an idea of the significance and importance of this practice. After describing where we should sit and how we should sit, and sometimes people get a little bit too attached to that, meditation is described as the capacity to focus on and unite with the divine. Whether you think of it as the divine or the cosmos or the union of everything as one, various different language and translated language is used of that nature to describe the importance of meditation. It says, when meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. In the still mind, in the depths of meditation, the self reveals itself. Beholding the self by means of the self, an aspirant knows the joy and peace of complete fulfillment. Having attained that abiding joy beyond the senses, revealed in the stilled mind, he never swerves from the eternal truth. He desires nothing else and cannot be shaken by the heaviest burden of sorrow. The practice of meditation frees one from all affliction. That is a text that's nearly 2,000 years old. Some people say it's older than that. A lot of people say, I can't sit still, never works for me, I can't clear my mind. Let's address all of those issues for you. Firstly, remember, practice your concentration exercises. Second thing to do is to learn to calm yourself through breathing. And learning to calm yourself through breathing not only benefits your meditation practice, but is one of the most powerful stress-relieving exercises you could possibly do. Even if you don't grasp the meditation at first, and you're going to keep on trying, you'll see that the breathing exercise makes all the difference. Various variations of this exist. Here's the one given by Dr. Andrew Weil, and you can learn more about him on, of course, the internet, on his website. And that is called the 4-7-8 breath. I originally learned it actually in the setting of an Eastern tradition, but it's basically as simple as this. Sit quietly and breathe in, of course, through your nose to the count of 4. Then hold your breath for the count of 7 and breathe out quite forcefully for the count of 8. When you breathe out, you should actually hear your breath. When you breathe out, it's like Now, at first, that breathing is going to make you lightheaded. Breathing out for longer than you breathe in is difficult at first. It might make you feel lightheaded. It even might make you feel like your chest is panicking. Do not panic and do not fear. Just do it 2 or 3 times. When you can do it 4 times, you've mastered it. And while at first it seems a little bit difficult because you're breathing out more than you breathe in, your body learns the rhythm and your mind learns to stop fighting it. And within a few days of trying that, you'll learn how to master that. It's a really powerful technique for dramatically, rapidly relaxing yourself. And if you can't sleep at night. If you can't sleep at night, practicing 4-7-8 breathing for 1 to 2 minutes will probably drop you straight to sleep. It's a powerful thing. So practicing that on its own, like the concentration exercises, or combining those, can make a very big difference to your ability to learn meditation. So often when talking about meditation, people talk about how they can't clear their mind and they never get it right. Firstly, I want to remind you of something I did say last week, and that is, it's a practice. It's a goal to learn how to meditate. It's a goal to learn how to concentrate. We always think we're supposed to be doing it at the beginning. So I'm saying, okay, learn meditation and practice your meditation. If you sit at the beginning and can't meditate, well, that's like me saying, go and learn the piano, and then you sit down to play the piano and you can't play the piano. It's because you must start with simple exercises, you must practice a lot, you must get it wrong a lot. The great thing about meditation is you can't really get it wrong. All you've got to do is follow the simple steps that I'll give you, and it will gradually teach you to get it right. What about the issue that people say, oh, I can't clear my mind, I can't stop my mind thinking? Well, you shouldn't be stopping your mind thinking. It's the job of your mind to think. It doesn't know how to do anything else than that. So it's not true that we're supposed to stop thinking or clear the mind. Both of those things are absolutely impossible. It is true that some people experience loss of thought or incredible mind clarity as a result of the practice of meditation, but it's not a requirement in order to practice meditation. And our job is mostly to ignore the mind. Our mind is busy going all the time. And we have lots of thoughts, for many of them ridiculous, many of them significant, many of them seem significant, we forget them later on. We have all of that going on in our minds all the time. So it is about learning to ignore it. I mean, how often have you had a radio or a TV on all day long and you don't really hear anything? You pick up the odd things that you're interested in. If you hear something familiar or a familiar voice or your own name, then you'll suddenly be paying attention. But the important thing is that once you understand that you're not trying to silence the mind, you don't have to pay attention to it, then you can let go of this idea of I'm doing it wrong or I don't know how to do it because I can't switch off the mind. So let's talk about how to actually meditate, and it's really easy. One thing that is important is that meditation must be a daily habit. It's not something you should need to find time for or need to get around to or didn't manage to do today. Because really, for the most part, it doesn't take longer than 10 minutes. You can learn to meditate for longer, and ideally, the practice for an adult is said to be 20 minutes, and even more ideally, 20 minutes twice a day. But in truth, it's a little bit like exercise and many other things. As long as you're doing a little bit every day, you are on track and you are going to experience the benefits. With my series of exercises for you, we're going to start small. Okay, so step number 1 is to establish the habit. The best way to establish the habit is to meditate first thing in the morning before you do anything else. Ideally, you're getting up a little bit earlier in order to do that so that you don't have to be disturbed by what you have to do every day. If you have a lot of chores first thing in the morning, like making breakfast, taking kids to school, or other things like that, then you do need to want to wake up maybe half an hour earlier to get your meditation practice in there. Some people say they prefer to practice in the evening. That's not a bad thing. I mean, everyone's got their own times, but it is more possible to fall asleep because you've had a busy day. It's something that ends up as a little resting exercise rather than meditation. But you know yourself, and you can experiment and find out what time of the day works best for you. So establish what time of the day it is and make a habit out of it. You also need to find a place where you will have minimal distractions, especially distractions in the form of people actually appearing. Noises and things like that you don't have to worry about. But whether it's a partner or someone else living in the house, one of the children, or someone else like that who could attract your attention. So a lot of people meditate in the loo. Other than that, you might find a place in your garden or a place that you can just go outside and sit quietly for up to 10 minutes. For the first week of meditation practice, you're going to just sit there. So week 1 in our 4-week program. So week 1 is just to show up at your designated place and time in the morning or wherever you might have put it, and sit there doing nothing else for about 3 minutes. How do we sit? Are we supposed to be cross-legged, holding our hands in a special way? Are we supposed to be lying down? Do you need a special chair or a special cushion? In fact, if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, a whole lengthy instruction is on how to arrange the place for sitting and what to sit on and how to hold your back. And it is true that if you sit in an upright fashion, you are going to achieve the most successful learning how to meditate. So you can sit in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair, you can put both feet on the ground. The most important thing is to make sure that the sitting position is not what's going to be distracting you. So sit in a chair, or if you can comfortably sit cross-legged on the floor in a chair. Use a cushion if you want, or anything else that will make you physically feel more comfortable without making you want to go to sleep. I was taught to visualize the spine as a stack of coins, and if you can visualize the spine of as a stack of coins, it helps you adjust yourself and sit in a comfortable way so that you are holding yourself up. Any kind of sitting comfortably and straight up, making sure you can breathe easily, is what's important. So sit quietly for 3 minutes. Do nothing. It doesn't matter if your mind wanders around. It doesn't matter if something else is going on in the house. Just learn to sit there doing nothing else for 3 minutes. It might be a great idea to start your 3 minutes with 1 or 2 rounds of the 4-7-8 breath to get yourself relaxed and to concentrate yourself into your position, into your meditation. So start off with a few slow breaths and then just sit there for 3 minutes. That's week 1. Easy. Those 3 minutes might sometimes seem to take a long time to pass. But moving on to week 2. In week 2, you're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to start off by breathing slowly and get yourself relaxed. And then for that same period of time, about 3 minutes, and try and extend it as the week goes on to up to 6 minutes maximum. You're going to sit there concentrating on different parts of your body. Last week in concentration, you learned to detect your heartbeat. You can start with that. But you can also move your focus of attention inside your body, to your heart, to your stomach. Is it feeling comfortable? Is it grumbling? Try and feel your feet or your hands or any other part of your body without moving your body to touch them. So just this inward concentration on the body. Every time you realize you haven't been thinking about your body, just bring yourself back to your body, back to trying to concentrate on the heartbeat. Start off at 3 minutes at the beginning of the week and try and get it to 5 minutes by about a week later. And that takes us to week 3. In week 3, you can find an image or a flower or something like that. I'm going to use a flower as an example. Take a flower, put it down in front of you, and sit with your eyes slightly downcast. You don't have to close your eyes at all for meditation. It does usually make it easier. But like this, you can just see the image of the flower. You can see the flower sitting in front of you without too much effort. You can also try and allow your eyes to close and hold the image. All you need to do is keep that image of the flower for your 5 or 6 minutes that you've learned to sit there for. Again, because you've got it in front of you, you'd think that it's going to be so easy to keep your focus on it, but it isn't. This one, though, you can do more easily. So look at the flower, allow your eyes to close. Hold the image of the flower. Every time you realize you're not thinking about the flower, open your eyes a little bit, see the flower, close your eyes. Keep sitting there, trying to hold the image of the flower in your mind. If it goes away, or if you realize you're thinking about something else, open your eyes, see the flower. Keep that up for 6 minutes. What you are hearing there is something that's also very important, and that is, if you lose concentration, and you will, do not react to that. Just get back to the task at hand. And that is even more so in week 4, when we finally get to meditate properly. And we are going to use a simple breathing meditation, one of the most simple and powerful meditations to learn. It gets all the jobs done, and of course it's easier said than done. All you do for this is, after calming yourself with the 4-7-8 breath, breathe in very slowly through the nose and breathe out very slowly through the mouth in as slow as possible fashion. Because of the breathing exercise, by now you've learned not to panic when your breathing is slow and you feel like you want more air. You've learned how to slow your breathing. It's just very slow in and very slow out. And on every out breath, you count. On the first one, 1, the second one, 2, and you continue to the number 4. After that, you start at 1 again. Now concentrate only on that number. You will find that you forget what number you were on. You'll find yourself getting up to 7, 8, 9 before you realize you were supposed to recycle at 4. You'll find yourself after 1 or 2 thinking, what number was I on? It's amazing how long it's going to take you to get to 4 if you do this properly. If you do it well very soon, don't trust yourself. Be suspicious, because your mind is wandering around. This is the exercise that's going to teach you one pointed focus faster than anything else, and that is going to change your life. As you go to the next week, it's week 5, and we're into our meditation practice. Extend that up to 10 minutes. So 10 minutes of slow breathing in, slow breathing out, counting on every out breath, and starting again at 1 every time you reach 4. And whenever you realize you're not concentrating, you don't know what the number is, you got to a wrong number, how did you get to such a high number? Don't punish yourself. Don't say, darn, I can't do this. Don't say, I can't believe I'm still on number 2 and I get back. Because every time you forget where you are, just go back to 1. Don't sit there thinking about, I forgot it, I forgot it. Just go 1 again. There's no judgment, there's no meaning. Every time you lose concentration or get to the wrong number, just calmly smile or breathe and go to the next number. There's no right or wrong. And after some weeks, you'll learn how to get that rhythm going on your count of 1 to 4. And after 10 minutes, you will feel very different. The benefits that are described at the beginning of the show today will come very quickly. Trust me, even just from starting to work on those exercises, by the end of the first month, you're going to see some of the benefits. And by the end of the second month, when you've had daily meditation counting to 4 for a month, you'll know there's no going back. Life-changing in 10 minutes. Do it. Well, everything is a bit easier said than done, and meditation is no exception to that. Even our spiritual practice, no exception to that. But it's all about making it a habit, making it part of your daily routine, and understanding that it's going to be a little bit different every time. Some days it's easy and comes so easy and seems so good. Some days it seems to be the very last thing that you want to do and doesn't come easily at all. And it feels like you're struggling, and that the half an hour takes very much longer than that to do your whole spiritual practice. It's not about doing it right. It's not about better than yesterday or even better still or whatever. It's just about doing it every day, finding that space where you're connecting, and gradually, the ego, the body, the mind finally give up. Because it's a routine and there's no need for them to keep on hammering at you every day. So it's make it part of your routine is the secret to successful meditation and the secret to successful spiritual practice. That's how to do it. We will be back talking more about spiritual practice and taking it to more advanced levels in the next episode in a few weeks' time. In the meanwhile, next week is all about the month ahead. So join us though every week, of course, on Friday at the usual time, and I will see you here next week.